Hello and welcome to Kain & Company. I'm David Kain, and today I have the distinct pleasure to introduce Jennifer Briggs, the Director of Dealer Strategy with ZMOT Automotive. We have a long history of working together when it comes to digital strategies for automotive groups, and now I get to learn what she's up to with ZMOT. So let's get right to it. So I'm excited to have Jennifer Briggs with ZMOT Automotive on the show with me today for a couple of reasons. Number one, I really respect her and enjoy her, but I've known her for a very long time and we've worked closely together on a couple of activities. So Jennifer, welcome to the show, and if you could, tell us a little bit about your background and about ZMOT.
Well, thank you, David. I'm excited to be here. So my background, I came into automotive in 2002, which feels like forever ago, and have come up through actually the accounting offices and then into operations and management of dealerships. So I bring a lot to the table and I love what we do in retail automotive. So ZMOT actually allows me to work with more dealers across the country. We do have digital products, but we offer performance management. So what we will do, whether it's our product or not, we help a dealer dig in and make everything work better for them.
Excellent. Well, it sounds as though, given your broad and diverse background, you'd have a lot that you could really contribute to that. Is there anything in your background that really stands out that you've been exposed to that really drove you forward into the area of marketing that you're working in now?
So I am an Automotive News 40 Under 40 retail winner, and I won that for changing digital strategy and increasing internet sales volumes for the Feldman Automotive Group in Detroit. So we were able to, in a very short amount of time, increase the traffic to the website, increase the opportunities to sell cars. It resulted in about $9 million in additional gross revenue in the first year that we did it. So it was through really digging in and working with great partners and working with them at really the ground level to help make sure that the products fit us, regardless of who the partner is. I think what we always say dealer to dealer is it's our money, it's our investment, and they should work with us to represent our brand. So that, I think, is part of why the Cardinelli Automotive Group wanted me to join the ZMOT division. That's something that they had done in their 19 dealerships, just as I had done with Feldman and McDonald Auto Group before that. So it was a really great fit, and I get to do it for dealers all across the country now, and I love it. So it's great.
That's great. Well, so also appreciate the fact that you have to balance your home life, your children, and your work life. I love watching your Facebook account, and I see pictures of you and having the kids' night and just the real embracing of the lifestyle and everything about it. And going to the Women in Automotive Conference, you've spoken about some of the challenges that you've personally experienced. Let's use this as a platform to learn more about women in automotive and then your particular feelings about what are some of the things that you could recommend to dealers that they might want to consider to make their dealerships more inviting to women in automotive.
Absolutely. So the Women in Automotive Board had come to me and to my best friend Bobby Heron last year to kind of be dealer advocates for them as they were putting together the first conference. And what they were looking to do was so amazing. Work with women all across the automotive space, work with colleges, just to let a lot of women know the opportunities. I started in the accounting office, and there are tons of women in our stores in the accounting office. But when you come out of that back office and you go onto the floor, they're just not there. And so I love what the organization is doing. It's giving us a chance to come together at these shows and through mentor programs to actually connect with other women that can help to lift us up. I was really excited to be selected to speak at their conference this year. That was kind of a big deal for me. Went out on a limb and shared some personal things that I normally don't share. It's all business with me. But it really was great because so many women approached me afterwards, motivated and inspired to take their careers to the next level. And so I think that's really what this organization is about, is to say, even if you're in your everyday life at work, you don't see a lot of other women, there is this massive support network there available for you. So, and for men too, right? We talk about you want to be more friendly for a woman to work in a dealership. Well, sometimes you just need to open it up and think about it. We may be looking for somebody who has 20 years sales experience, but you're going to be hard pressed to find a female salesperson that's been selling for 20 years. But if you can open up your mind and look for talented people with great customer service skills, you can bring women into your organization and they will crush it. They will sell a ton of cars. But I think also, just because of my experience, I think a lot of dealers need to look inside of their store as well to give women more opportunities to promote. I got into operations because somebody quit, right? Somebody gave their notice that day and I had to step in and they said, oh, Jen's techie, let's give her internet sales. So I got pulled out of the office into operations, and I've never looked back. I love it. The skills that I learned in being a controller help me every day to counsel with dealers on how to run their businesses more profitably. But you might have a superstar, really great detail-oriented performer sitting right in your store and you're not looking at her.
Yeah, boy, that is so accurate, and we run into it all the time. And talking about your presentation, Women in Automotive, Patrick Lencioni presented last year at the CBT conference, and one of the things that he talks about is expressing your vulnerability to your team and letting them know that, yeah, I have bad days, and yes, I've gone through challenges in my life, and I've had to overcome them. I've got a high appreciation for what you have to go through. And if you read studies of employees that have worked for companies for a long period of time, sure, wages and general compensation are important, but that maybe when my child was sick, that you stuck by me, you gave me some time off, or I had some other challenge and you stuck by me. Tell me a little bit about, in your own experience, what are some of the things that differentiated you with other employers to make you want to be more loyal based on the way they gave you a stepping stone to help you overcome some of those challenges?
Well, I have a really great example of that. And I do think we need to start, we need to treat our staff like family. That's part of what I love about my current organization is we are a family. And I think about 2013, my father passed, and I was at the dealership. I was running 3 departments for 5 stores. So it's not like there was anybody who could just step in and do my job. But the family that I worked for, I'm an oldest, right? Then there's a lot of responsibilities that come with that. They gave me as much time as I needed off. If they needed something, they called, but they really tried to hold it together. And I think just recognizing and supporting your employees, you have to find out about them. You need to know what's important to them. No, I mean, I use that in my training tactics all the time. I need to find out what you're into, what your family life is, so I can motivate you the right way. Yeah. And when I motivate you the right way, and that might be an extra day off, or that might be taking off early so you can go to a music recital. But if you don't take the time to know your employees, male or female, you're going to have a hard time retaining them. But if you take that time and invest that interest in them as a person to help them grow, they'll be loyal to you.
Oh, there's no question. I feel the exact same way. And even from the employer to the employee, when I see an employee trying that hard, I really want to bend over backwards to make it easier for them to want to be a long-term employee. So, you look at the Women in Automotive, and I've got 3 sisters, and they were all raised through our family business. And I've got a lot of pride in the fact that my daughter works with me, and she's really, as you know, a point of pride for me. And it's just so thrilling to see this group take off. And I look at Christy Romans and Subi Ghosh and Jody DeVere, and then to hear you talk about working with your best friend Bobby. That's an interesting relationship, and have you been able to retain that friendship even when the pressure's on, and how do you separate friendship at work and getting the job done?
Well, the funny part of it is, David, is that even before we both joined ZMOT, we took turns recruiting each other. So I would get her to try to come to Feldman. She'd try to get me to go to Garber. We've been wanting to work together for a long time. Actually, she and I balance each other very well. I think that is really a misconception that a lot of people have about women working together, is that, oh, you get too many women, it's going to be catty, it's going to be this. But I think for us, the level that we're on is so open and honest with our friendship that sometimes I need a check. Like, I need her to check me and say, Jen, you're being a little bit of a diva right now. That's not really what we need to do. Let's take it down a step. And I appreciate that. Well, usually I say something super analytical, and she's like, do you really think anybody understood what you said?
Excellent. Well, Jennifer, I appreciate the passion that you bring to everything you do with work and your contribution to making the workspace in automotive more friendly to women. I personally find it really intriguing. I went to elementary school and all the girls are smarter. I went to high school, all the girls are smarter. They tried harder, went to college, the same thing. And then you get them into the workspace and all of a sudden, this is a man's world. Slow down, young lady. You just got to learn how to adapt. I find that offensive and frustrating. And at the same time, not to scare men away, but men should be in a position where they admire diversity in the workplace. And I believe it's really a good opportunity for our industry to reflect on some of the gains that we've made.
Well, and I think I have the opposite situation of you, David. I grew up with 3 brothers. So it is most certainly, can be intimidating for women.
Sure.
But I don't care if it is still a good old boys club. The advice I always give to women who come to me and they're like, well, I don't know what to do. It's this, it's that. And yes, we do have to prove ourselves, right? And that's okay. My mom told me a long time ago, she says, Jennifer, there's double standards in this world. You can complain about them, or you can figure out how to use them to your advantage.
Yes.
So it's a reality that we're dealt with, and it's not a popular thing for me to say, but I am more than happy to take a phone call and help a lady to figure out how to kick down a door or bulldoze something that is standing in the way of her success. And there is a way that you can do it and be professional. But we have to stop being afraid of standing up. We need our voices to be heard. And so often, as Sheryl Sandberg would say, you've got to lean in. You have to do that work. Yes. You have to take a seat at the table. Don't stand in the background. Take a seat at the table and let your voice be heard. It is valuable. Absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of women are scared to do that because of the space. They don't see a lot of female leaders, which is why we want them to know there are female leaders all across automotive, and we're looking to bring even more into the space.
Awesome. Jennifer, inspiring. Thank you very much for joining me today. I look forward to having you on in future programs. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, David.
Wow, that was a great interview by Jennifer, and thank you very much for joining us today. It is really great to see how women in automotive is so much in the forefront these days. As I mentioned on the interview, I've got 3 older sisters and I've got 2 daughters. Dealerships that embrace women in automotive really tend to give themselves a distinct advantage in the marketplace. I sure hope you'll consider that strategy when you're planning your future employment needs. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm David Kain, and I'll hope to see you here next week on Kain & Company.